Good early morning, good peoples. It is Bruce with Targeted Wealth Creation. I'm going to jump back to something I haven't done for several weeks, updated everything. So I've got a comparison of BTC income funds. There's a lot, right? So I'm using various launch dates over here. So the results don't really mean a lot because they're not same time frames, right? You got some on 11.5, you got some as soon as, in 2024, 5.1 this month, you have BCCC, the newest one, 6.4, there's an 11.5, 4.2, 11.5, 5.13 this year on the Granite Fund, and then YBIT 11.5. Now, listen, on the 11.5, some of those were around way before. I just got a common one to get the majority included. And you have color codes here. And they could be off. Somebody changes. So the whites indicate monthly payers, and the blue and green indicate indexes, except BidX is not an index. It's green because it's 2x. So it's a 2x fund that happens to pay income. So if you really get in a cycle where you think Bitcoin's going to run, they're great fun. It'll outperform everybody because it's got 2x leverage. You don't want to sit and hold that forever going, hey, I think Bitcoin's going to be higher in 3 years. Well, you only rode some when it's going down. You go down twice. So you want to cycle into that a month or two, three, whatever you feel the bull run's going to encounter. Then you want to get back out. You may even want to enter a bear fund, right? If you see, crypto winner. So FBTC and IBIT used to be pretty close, but the Fidelity FBTC is really outperforming me. I don't know if they changed leverage or they did something, but it's something I'm noticing. These amplify funds are very interesting. So I have notes on the other side, but Biddy, I believe, is a 2%, payer targets at 2%. So there's times where it pays better, and you'll see that. And then Baggy is their other fund. They're both excellent funds. So even here on their 5/1 2025, the total return doesn't mean that much, is 98 and 96. Okay. So let's get over to the same sides, right? Same kind of thing. IBIT and FBTC are color coded because they're indexes. Oh, when I said that white was a monthly payer, and then again, don't hold me to it because I didn't update it, and I don't want to start trying to do it while this is going on. Clearly, BITO's a monthly payer, Maxi's a monthly payer, YBIT is a monthly payer. I don't really know if BTCI is or not. One of the ways I can come over here and look underneath and see if they're paying, yeah, it appears to be a monthly. So that's the, orange brown color versus white, right? 2x index uh, weeklies. We know Roundhill's weekly. I know Granite's weekly, so I assume this BCC from Global X is weekly. Usually I update. Yeah, there we go. You see the weeklies pouring in. Sometimes I just sum it up. Sometimes I show, like this one I summed up because I brought it over from the first page where I put all the detail weeklies in. All right, so you get it. So what's important, let's get into the analysis, is in this scenario, first one, I got two, they're all 513 that I could make 513, right? There's only one fund, BCC. So even given that, and then I make everybody 6.4 down here, right? Because I always want to see. So it's kind of interesting. Let's take a look. And then I did one thing with BITO because BITO is so close. In the next 2 days, it will declare. So I went ahead and gave it $1. I didn't in this scenario, but I did in the next scenario being 6.4. So I could easily do that right here. there's nobody else. Everybody else has had theirs, right? So BITO typically pays on the first of the next month, right? So they're about ready to declare, like usually declare on the last day of the month. And here we are on the 28th. Um, and that's 2 days away. So I like to estimate, conservative payout and put it in there. I didn't hear, so it's going to rank lower. And then I did here on the 6-4. It actually, so I went in here and said, okay, it paid $1.20 last month. I'm going to give it $1. And so I did. So you have to do that sometimes. You have to sort of give it. And I'll say that Granite has got one more weekly left in August, right? They're in between. Most of the other guys finished their weeklies for August. Um, so not a big deal on the weeklies, though. All right. So looking at 513, let's take that one, that scenario, because I had everybody 513 except 640. So the index wins, nothing new to you guys, and then the 6-4 guy wins. So you have to kind of throw those away at the moment. All right, who then won of the 513s? Well, Granite did. And interesting, we know Granite erodes, right? Has NAV erosion, but look at their payout. They're paying like crazy. 78.68% distribution annualized. It paid $5.89 actual. Was that the right? No. Yeah. And that's since 513, guys. So that's 23%. There's nobody else even close. Now, somebody goes, oh, well, they're paying your money back. Well, they got penalized over here. You got a lot of other people that had green. Not everybody. Okay. And in some fairness to them, I could easily go in here and add that dollar. Okay. What does that do? Yeah, that jumps them up. They don't win, but it gets them way back up in here. And that's what I normally see with BITO, right? Um, and wipe it is the bottom. It doesn't matter what the scenario is, right? Well, I take it back. They weren't, right? They were the bottom third, bottom three, right? You had 9 and they were the bottom third. Okay. And then I even did, well, this one was, I was trying to show Misty and iBid and do some other things. It's not so relevant right now. It's kind of run its course. But I wanted to see that to show how Misty and MSTR weren't keeping up with the BI, bid of the BTC income funds. So what we got is, let's just focus on the 513. So back, and then I sorted them in order. So Yilmax is last place out of 8, 3, 6, 8. And the winner is Baggy from Amplify. These Amplify funds, now, they're all over the place in terms of what they pay sometimes. They have slow period. Maxi certainly is, sorry, the Simplify one. But they didn't score well on this. Let's check them out down here. They didn't score that well either, but on some of them they do. Okay. So 28% for Baggy. The index is 25. BTCC from Grayscale was 20. Oh, I didn't resort since I did BITO. So let's do that now. So BITO, again, that's giving them, what if they only pay 80 cents? Well, that isn't going to, they may not win, but they'll be up in the 20s. They'll be in the top 2 or 3 right here. So, giving something that's coming in 2 days, I think is only fair. So you have 2 performers above the index here. Again, you're looking since 513. Grayscale is in there. Now, this is the 2x fund leverage, right? So this isn't, if it's a big upcycle, they're going to blow you away on the gain or loss, but they really didn't. Look, they had a 5% gain. Baggy had 5.94. IBIT, the other index, had 25. But they don't pay any, right? That's their problem on winning this. They don't pay any. And neither does YBTC. Sorry, I don't want to say Roundhill. I want to say the Fidelity one. Let me jump back over here. FBTC, yeah, the Fidelity. All right, you see distro annualized 0, YBIT 0. But it's outperforming 105% to 93. I've seen these where they were within a 0.5% of each other. All right, so on the 513, you can see the rankings. You can look at the video, you can stop. Sometimes I do the summary, but I didn't do that. All right, and then I took 6-4 into play. You can ignore 5-1 down here. So I can't sort them because they're further down. I'd have to attach them all and it would sort everything. So I'd have to put new columns in. There's enough that we can go through. We got 369. Okay. So XBITY from Granite wins this at 47.83. Look how they got there. This one is fascinating. They just blew everybody away with the pay. They make yield max look like yield minimum, right? I mean, they're paying like 91%. Second highest, well, the second highest payer is Bitto, 60%. And there's yield max of, and their yield max is typically always a good payer. That's never the problem. But we have a new NAV erosion king, but we also, it's enough where you can win. So I'll take 97, or sorry, 92% gain since 6-4 on distribution annualized with a 43-44. So my net is 47 because they're paying weekly. I can use that money. All right. So is Global X, the BCC, but they get there a whole different way, right? They get there with a conservative, and some people may say, well, I'm not NAV eroding. They only pay you 34.76, but they go up 6.85. So they're in second place, and we drop off about 11% to Baggy. And there's Biddy. Don't confuse BidX, the 2X, with Biddy. Biddy is the 2% monthly income target or 24% annual. So like I said, depending on what the underlying does and how the funds perform, that can be in a better situation or not. But they're getting ranked up here. They're actually, since these aren't sorted, Biddy is in second place. You have 47. Whoops. You have 40. Bitto is in second. You have 47, 45, 42, 41. So that's Granite, Bitto. The 42 is Biddy from Amplify. And how did Roundhill do? They only did 21.55 on this. Positive on both. I always like to see that. Who were your big NAV eroders? Well, even NAV erosion, Bitto. Maxi from Simplify. They don't look good at all in this particular one. I I got all their money in there. Okay. Neos, BTCI, and Yeomax. They're trailing the bottom, these two. So while Neos does good on some funds, I'm not that impressed here with their BTC income fund. So that's what I got for you, peoples. I'll continue to update these and keep them going. So you can really see the difference here. It's funny that they're really doing well in the shorter period of time with 85 days, right? You can get bigger numbers than you get. Well, the index, Granite got 40% there and got 47% there. Very similar way to do it was 78% distro annualized, 91 had 37% NAV erosion and 43. All right, guys, that's what I got for you for Bitto. I do these from time to time and keep them updated, especially when we just had a bunch of distro declarations. All right, guys, this is Bruce with Targeted Wealth Creation, not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. Have a great Thursday ahead. Bye for now.